This story began when my friend Carrie was thinking about moving to Zakarpattia, when two girls decided to rent a car because of two super cute husky that also like adventures but not in the public transport, and check Uzhhorod more in details. So, as you know, I'm not driving. I even have no driving license. So we were relied on Carrie's experience. She found a super fast way to turn her California driving license into international one only for $40.
We actually doing pretty well because we have already passed 86 kilometers and it was so far so good. Yes?
Yeah, so far so good.
We will leave the link to the website in description if you also need international driver license. Please check it.
Taylor Swift is playing folklore album, very road trip friendly.
So we found a rental car agency who required only digital copy of the license, thanks God, and a week later we were sitting in the orange Chevrolet and trying not to fail with GPS, but that lady was tricky. So road took almost 6 hours instead of 4.5. Have never been to road trip, and being a navigator was something new for me, especially when I had no clue about any single road signs and road rules, but we made it to Uzhhorod somehow. Hooray!
Uzhhorod greeting you, Carrie.
Yeah, finally.
Next day we decided to visit the ethnography museum under the open sky to learn something new about Ukrainian villages of 19th century.
It used to be a Jewish synagogue, but now it's work as a philharmonic and they have a concert there.
Yeah, guys, we believe that village house is not just a house in which a family lives. It is a separate universe where people were born, grew up, fell in love, married and died. And Ukrainian traditional house is the part of our cultural heritage, I think. The entrance cost only 150 hryvnias for one person, and they allowed dogs into the museum, so it was our chance. So guys, are you ready to see Museum of Folk Architecture and Life? Actually, we are nearby it, and the good news is that it's near Uzhhorod's castle, so we can check two places in one shot. The first attribute of the exhibition was Krynytsia, that translates as Wheel of Spring. When I was a young kid, my grandmother had the same at her village house. It was huge. This is a typical village hata. Hata means house. These are bowls for cooking. Wait a minute, this is for laundry. I remember this instrumentary. Yes, this is for laundry. It's like you take in your stuff and do it like this. Unfortunately, the inside rooms were locked and we can only see it outside of the gate or outside of the window. In the museum, we had access only to the corridors of the hatas. On the territory, you can find examples of the house of Highlanders, Boykas and Hutsuls, as well as Dominicans who settled on the lowlands, Lemkans, Hungarians and Romanians who lived in Transcarpathia. By the way, the dishes you see now are called Ukrainian hlechiks and they made from clay. The central theme of the house was always stove that was used for cooking, heating and even sleeping. Okay guys, let's check this hata. I think it looks more wealthier. Let's check. In every Ukrainian house, dishes was considered a real treasure and acquired a special magical power as a talisman. Every makitra, pot, bowl or half bowl is ready to share its secrets. It was made by hand from clay. The food prepared in clay dishes was very tasty because clay retains both heat and coolness well. The animals also were living in the same yard with the Ukrainians, so we checked house for animals too. Definitely, maybe it's for geese, for example. I hope you do not see my double chin. Rabbits! Oh my gosh! This open-air museum has 7 main houses, 6 residential buildings, a church, a bell tower, school, forge, mill and inn. The most interesting is townhouse. It's Hata Grajda, the real architectural unique. Today in this type of Hutsul closed country yard with premises for sheep and cattle in Transcarpathia has almost not been preserved. Embroidered towels served as a decoration of the home. They were hung above the doors, above the windows, laid on the table, but the most beautiful ones were necessarily covered with icons. The hatas was also decorated with the wall paintings, which served as both decoration and charms. By the way, the roof that you can see is called strycha in Ukrainian, and it's straw or red roof. The lower edge of such roof hangs over the wall. It's called arctic. Now we check to see the church. It's turned 240 years old last year. This is monument of state importance. The church from the village of Shelestovo, Mukachevo district, is the business card of open-air museum and one of the best examples of church construction in TRANSCARPATHIAN. The bell tower that you see is a unique sight. This is the last functioning hexagonal Uzhhood bell tower in the world, and it made from spruce. The most of such temples were built by unknown masters by eye. This church was built without plan, without nails and saw, but only with the help of hands and axe. By the way, this is the only classical Lemki temple left in Transcarpathia. In general, there are only 2 of them in Ukraine. Guys, if you are in Uzhhorod, I'm recommending this folk museum under open sky that is called Old Village. So you're welcome.
Oh, ladybug, it likes you.
It's like Божья коровка.
It's like kind of red, but this one's more orange with the dots.
Ah, Божья коровка.
Yeah, Bozha
Hope you like this small excursion. If you're willing to support others' cultural documentaries, please check the description of this video, guys. Guys, to say more, I deeply appreciate your help, support and donations and trust. And my way to say thank you is my personal vlog that I'm recording every month and sending to all of the Buy Me a Coffee guys and guys who support me on PayPal. Yes, and it helps me to work less and create more cultural videos. So, thank you, appreciate you. Pretty harsh. But we are in Uzhhorod and I'm worrying less a little bit. So let's explore Uzhhorod further. It's perhaps the most multicultural city in Ukraine. Ukrainian, Russian, Hungarian, Roma, Slovak, Romanian language can be heard on the local street, often in rather confusing combination. I've even decided to visit local Hungarian Catholic Church in the city center and confirm or debunks urban narrative about oppression of Hungarian language in town. So as you see, a lot of Hungarian Ukrainians are in the church, the liturgy is on Hungarian language, people are fluently speaking it, and I have not noticed any oppression. Actively took part in the liturgy, was praying together with congregation, and even noticed that cathedral one time a week is offering Catholic liturgy on Ukrainian. I've also decided to check how Greek Catholic Church in Uzhhorod is functioning, so to confirm or debunk narrative about religious oppression in Ukraine, in quotes. As you may see, liturgy is ongoing in public. Congregation is gathering without a fear or any oppressions. We were praying about militaries and Kharkiv city that is suffering from the constant bombing, and I encourage you to do the same. Thank you, guys. But let's get back to Uzhhorod more in details. Here vegetation, smells and colors have a southern accent, and the geographical latitudes are almost northern Crimea. So when in Kiev, the first buds are still fighting for life, in Uzhhorod the streets are already completely green, jasmine is blooming, and the famous local Sakura is blossoming. Famous Linden Alley in Uzhhorod has a length of 2 kilometers 200 meters and area of 1 hectare and starts from the former gubernium where today is linguistic gymnasium is located, then stretched along the bank of Uzh River along 2 embankments. The goal of our trip was to check if Carrie likes Uzhhorod enough to move here, as town has no curfew and missile attack almost zero here. So let's check her opinion about it.
It was super fun, a lot of walking. I like that this city has a lot of good places for walking the huskies. It's really nice, and I think I still like Lviv best though, because Lviv has the classic European center of the city vibes, which is really cool, with the old cobblestone streets and the old architecture on the buildings that's very intricate. So yeah, I like both a lot. Uzhhorod is good for visiting, probably staying in Lviv.
I hope you like this small excursion, and I want to admit, if you are willing to visit Ukraine during the war, Uzhhorod is the most safe and secure place for you in this situation perhaps, and it's comfy for a brief visit. You can see all its sites in 2-3 days. So, Carrie, Luna, Akira and me enjoyed the trip so much, it was a refreshing experience. Please guys, put thumbs up to this video and share it with your friends who are interested in visiting Ukraine. Bye bye!